Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Noor Arnaout. I manage the Digital Health Program, or known as the ISAHA program at the Global Health Institute at the American University of Beirut. Welcome all, and thank you so much for joining us today for the information session about the global health and the artificial intelligence network in the MENA region. In this session, we aim to introduce you more to this initiative and specifically the call for proposal that has been launched as part of this initiative. You'll have a chance to ask all of your questions. We will be here to answer your questions. I hope you have already gone through the application form just so you are more into the zone and you can ask particular questions throughout this presentation. I will have with me today my colleague Nadine Sabra, who coordinates this initiative specifically, and she will be also joining me for some sections of this presentation. So for today's session, we're going to start by introducing the Global Health and Artificial Intelligence Network in the MENA region. What is it specifically? Its details. We're gonna also have an overview of the call for proposal specifically with its different details, including the eligibility, the different tracks, the different priority areas that are included in it. And then my colleague Nadine is gonna cover the application form, which includes different sections as well. So she will tell you more about that. We're going to move after that to review, to understand more the review process, how it's going to happen specifically, who's going to be on the review committee, what is the scoring criteria. And then after that, we're going to see together the project timeline. And at the end, we're going to move to answer all of your questions. So from now on, I'm going to refer to the initiative that is the Global Health and Artificial Intelligence Network in the MENA region as GHAIN MENA. Okay, so the GHAIN MENA is a 3-year initiative. It's funded by the International Development Research Center, IDRC, in Canada. It's led by the Global Health Institute at the American University of Beirut, which has been selected to serve as a hub for the use of AI in global health. This initiative is a partnership with 2 dear partners that we have. The first is the Eastern Mediterranean Public Health Network, also known as EMFNet. And the second is the Jordan University of Science and Technology, also known as JUST. Through this specific initiative, we aim to support the implementation of research projects that use artificial intelligence, particularly responsible artificial intelligence. And we're going to move later on to discuss specifically what does responsible artificial intelligence means. But on this initiative, we focus on responsible artificial intelligence interventions that aim to improve sexual, reproductive, and maternal health outcomes in the MENA region specifically. And this project is actually bonded to 3 specific goals of the Sustainable Development Goals. The goal 3, that has to do with, ensuring healthy lives and promotion of well-being in the communities. Goal 5, that has to do with achieving gender equality and empowering women and girls. And goal 17, that has to do with partnerships for the goals, be it through us partnering with other esteemed partners in the region to actually, do this initiative, or through you as interested researchers who wish to apply to this call. We highly encourage you to partner with other institutions in case you wish to apply for this call. There are 4 main objectives that are that this call for proposals focuses on. The first is to strengthen the research capacity in the MENA region among researchers on the use of responsible artificial intelligence to improve sexual, reproductive, and maternal health. Through this initiative, we also aim to enhance the understanding and application of responsible digital health solutions, particularly those focused on artificial intelligence, and understand their role in improving sexual, reproductive, and maternal health outcomes in the MENA region. We also aim to enhance the relevance and scalability of the research to inform and influence policy and decision-making and practice in the region. And we also aim to ensure all applications of AI frameworks and methodologies are being gender sensitive and inclusive. And this is part of AI being actually responsible. The GAIN MENA initiative, it adopts a sub-granting scheme. So as part of this initiative, there will be 6 sub-grants that will be issued to researchers who will be selected to be awarded these grants. Each grant will be of a total of up to $50,000. And a project timeline for each of these grants will be up to 18 months. So more about the call for proposals, the eligibility criteria, who can actually apply to it. So for this call for proposals specifically that is focused on AI and sexual reproductive maternal health, the primary applicant for this call for proposals specifically should be either be based in the MENA region or affiliated with an organization that is based in the MENA region and that has an official legal registration in the MENA region. We have received multiple questions from researchers who are not based in the MENA region, but who are affiliated with an organization in the MENA region. These researchers can be primary applicants to this call for proposals. However, if the primary applicant is not based in the MENA region, nor is affiliated with an organization that is based in the MENA region, this researcher cannot be a primary applicant. However, still can apply to this call for proposals as partner to a primary applicant who fulfills the eligibility criteria. The primary applicant can be affiliated with an organization in the MENA region that can be an academic institution, a university, a Ministry of Health, a non-governmental organization, or a civil society organization, a think tank, or any other organization that is for-profit or not for-profit, that has certain track record in sexual reproductive maternal health and or in the development of AI solutions. The primary applicant should also have expertise and track record in sexual reproductive maternal health or AI or health system strengthening, together with the team that will be involved with the primary applicant. So the primary applicant should actually be applying on behalf of a team of partners or co-investigators who altogether form this specific expertise that is needed for this call for proposals. Primary applicants can apply to this call for proposals under 2 specific tracks. We have the research track that is more focused on exploratory research studies that actually aim to generate evidence on the effectiveness of specific proposed AI-based interventions, and that are targeting at least one specific priority area from the priority areas that we're going to discuss in the next slide. So you have to at least be targeting one priority area. You can be targeting more than one priority area. Also, primary applicants can submit under the innovation track, and the innovation track has more to do with the solution itself. So it may produce a system as a specific output of the project. It has to do more about developing, testing, and scaling up specific AI-based innovation or solution that aim to improve sexual, reproductive, and maternal health. It's more focused on applied research, where a prototype, a system, an application, a concept, an algorithm already exists, but it requires further advancement, or it has been pilot tested, but it needs a scale up, things like that. In terms of thematic areas or priority areas, we have 7 thematic areas that you can choose to apply for. And as mentioned before, you can choose one thematic area or more than one thematic area. And these thematic areas, they span across improvement of sexual, reproductive, and maternal health outcomes in general. Those focused on promoting adolescent sexual and reproductive health, those addressing gender-based violence, those enhancing access to and quality of sexual, reproductive, and maternal health services, particularly in primary healthcare settings. So primary healthcare centers, these usually are done with or in partnership with entities that govern primary healthcare centers, such as ministries, such as non-governmental organizations, or other entities. Other thematic areas include advocating for and supporting family planning and the engagement of partners in decisions related to sexual, reproductive, and maternal health. And by partner, we mean the spouse. And finally, the use of AI-based interventions to enhance the professional development and the capacity building of healthcare providers that are involved in providing sexual, reproductive, and maternal health services to different populations. There is no limitations when it comes to the populations that these grants or these proposals need to be addressing. Now, when we talk about responsible artificial intelligence, what is it? What does responsible mean? What are its characteristics? I'm going to tell you more about that, but also I'm going to ask my colleague Nadine to share with you on the chat box a very useful link for an article that we came across. It's a systematic review that tells you more about what responsible artificial intelligence means and what are examples of responsible artificial intelligence interventions. It doesn't mean that you have to work by or use any of the mentioned interventions. In contrary, it's just for you to actually get inspired and for you to understand what responsible artificial intelligence means. But in general, when we talk about responsible artificial intelligence, it means that these are, the models that are based on, we all know that artificial intelligence is actually based on specific algorithms or machine learning models or other sort of models that are based on input data. So these models should be gender sensitive, should take into consideration social inclusion, human rights, context, and ethics. And you have to highlight all of these components in the proposal that you will be submitting for this call for proposals. In addition to all of these, the model or the intervention that you propose as part of your research proposals should be or should take into consideration being human-centered, unbiased, co-designed with the target population that you are addressing as part of your project. So all of these constitute together responsible AI. When these characteristics are not present or are defeated, we talk about biased AI models and we talk about irresponsible AI interventions. In general, when we talk about AI models, we talk about, for example, AI-based mobile applications, AI-enabled chatbots, AI-enabled remote monitoring systems. We talk about detection and the diagnostic tools and many other interventions that you may have in mind and that could fit under the scope of AI. Now we move to talk about the application form specifically. I'm gonna give the floor to my colleague Nadine to tell you more about the different sections of the application form. And we'll rejoin you when we talk about the budget. Nadine?
Thank you, Noor. So in order for you to apply to the GHAIN MENA call for proposals, number one, you have to visit our website, which is ghi.aub.edu.lb/GHAIN MENA. Once you visit this page, you have to click on the call for proposals. Here's next slide. Okay, so this is our application form. It is composed of 7 parts that you have to fully fill out in order for the application to be reviewed. We have part 1, the applicant's information. In the applicant's information, you're going to add the info or the details related to the primary applicant, which are the name, the email, the experience, the qualification, and then you attach your CV. Once you finish, you're going to specify the number of the co-investigators working with you on this project. Once you specify the number, new fields will appear and you have to fill them out with the information similar to those of the primary applicant. Now you move to the project overview. In the project overview, you have to fill 3 fields. Number 1, you have to add the title of your project. Number 2, you have to specify the area or the areas of the theme you're going to talk about. And number 3, you have to pick your track. Is it a research track or is it an innovative track? Then you move to the part 3. Actually, part 3 is going to be the most dense part, which is the proposal narrative. In the next slide, there's a screenshot of the proposal narrative. Can we move to the next slide? Okay, so this is a proposal narrative. Actually, this is a screenshot from it. It's a Word document that you have to download from our website, in which you're going to fill 13 questions or fields. Number 1, you have to add your project abstract. You have to write the project problems and justification. You're going to list your general objective and the specific objectives. And then you're going to talk about your AI solution and why is it considered as a responsible AI solution. You move to the methodology, which is going to respect the track that you have picked previously. You talk a little bit about your sustainability plan and how your project will work beyond the life of this grant. You move to the policy relevance, uptake, and scale, and how you're going to scale up your project. You describe how you're going to integrate a little bit gender, human rights, social and contextual factors. You mention and you list where you're going to get your ethical approval from. Is it an institutional review board or another board? And you anticipate the results of your project. And finally, you're going to write what are the challenges you're going to face throughout the implementation of your project. Now, in order for you to write this application in a good way, or the proposal narrative in a good way, we prepared for you an instruction guide. This instruction guide is available on our website, in which you have a few instructions for you to fill the application form or the proposal narrative in an appropriate way. So you have to use the font that we mentioned in this instruction guide. You have to use the size mentioned in it. You have to save it as a PDF. You have to add your name next to it before uploading it to the website. And finally, you're going to upload this proposal narrative to the website. Moving now to the project budget, and I'll keep this section for Noor.
Okay, thank you, Nadine. In terms of project budget specifically, the project budget is also based on a template that is available on the application form when you go into the website and you start filling your application. It's an Excel sheet that you will have to download and you have to fill. The Excel sheet has different categories, but simple ones. So it has personnel, consultants, results dissemination, equipment and supplies, travel, and these all sum up to the total direct cost. And then we have the indirect cost. Just to give you an example, this is an example from the results dissemination tab of the budget. It's similar for all other tabs as well, where you have to specifically determine what is the item of expenditure you're talking about, what is the expected costs for the year 1 and for the 6 months of the year 2, because it's an 18-month project maximum. And then the total will be automatically calculated. Please be very thorough and meticulous when you talk about the budget justification, because this is very important for us to determine the eligibility of the mentioned costs. Each section of the budget has also a description in the header of the tab. So you can also use this description to know more what to include in the specific tabs. Just to let you know, in the equipment and supplies tab, there's a description, and this description says that equipment is anything that is above $5,000. So anything below the $5,000 is considered in the category of supplies. So you're also included in this tab as well. Once you fill this Excel sheet, this first view or the summary page will be filled automatically. The table will be filled automatically. And then you have to complete the name of the principal investigator with a signature, and then the name of the authorized person from the institution with their respective signature before applying or uploading this sheet back to the system for your application. You can also, if you are unable to add these signatures electronically per se on this Excel sheet, you can print it out, have them sign, scan it again, and then put a copy of the scan on the summary tab. Okay, if we go back to the sections of the application, there's still the theory of change and the project schedule and work plan. For the theory of change, mainly is mostly it's a visual that you will have to include in your proposal. Also, it's a free entry form that you can upload. So you don't type it, you actually upload it as a PDF or a JPEG, PNG, etc. Preferably, it should be, as I mentioned, a visual representation. Mainly, it has to say what is actually the problem, what is your proposed solution or the proposed activities that you are suggesting as part of your project, and then what outputs and outcomes will be generated out of this project and how it will impact the original status quo. So this is mainly the theory of change. It's not something sophisticated. It's not something that's out there that you will be adopting. It's something that is very particular to your specific project. So you can upload whatever visual representation that you think applies to your project, but it has to be tailored to your project specifically. So not something adopted from the literature or something that is already out there. In terms of the review process, there will be a review committee that is formed from members who have expertise in sexual reproductive maternal health, health systems strengthening, digital health, artificial intelligence, and these fields or specialties that are related to the call for proposals. The process of the review will be double-blinded, meaning the reviewer will not know the identity of the applicant, nor will the applicant know the identity of the reviewer who actually reviewed their proposal. The proposals will also be independently reviewed by 2 reviewers. So each proposal will receive comments or will be reviewed by 2 proposals and will be scored accordingly. And the average of the 2 scores will be taken into consideration for final judgment and selection. The review process is approximately estimated to take around 4 to 6 weeks to be finalized. In terms of the evaluation criteria, so for the reviewers to actually score the proposals that will be submitted to this call for proposals, they will take into consideration the soundness of the methodological approach, the relevance to the topic of sexual reproductive and maternal health, the novelty and how innovative the solution that is AI-based is, the feasibility of the project timeline and budget that are proposed to actually conduct this project, the integration of gender and human rights, social inclusion, the contextual factors, the human-centered design, everything that we talked about when it comes to responsible AI is also part of the evaluation criteria. The potential for scale up, for uptake is also part of the evaluation criteria. And when it comes to the section of scalability and the proposal narrative, specifically the template that Nadine talked to you about, we have linked to you a very useful resource. It's called the MAPS Toolkit. And this resource, it includes 6 domains that you usually integrate in or take into consideration in your project to ensure their scalability. So please go over this toolkit, take it into consideration when you draft this section, and I'm sure it will be helpful and useful for you. Also, a part of the items or the criteria that will be used for evaluating the proposals will be the formation or the constitution of the team that is applying to the grant. So the different expertise that are part of the team, their track record and their specialty or the field that they mentioned they are specialized in. So you will have to, I think, Nadine, you have to upload the CVs, right? So you have to upload the CVs of the team members that are applying to this funding opportunity. There's also a place for the monitoring and evaluation plan. So how are you planning to monitor that you are, on track, that you are achieving the outcomes that you are planning to achieve as part of the project? So everything related to M&D is also part of the evaluation. And finally, the theory of change that we talked about is also taken into consideration while scoring the submitted proposals. In terms of timeline, so July 14 marks the deadline for the submission of proposals for this call for proposals. In August, we expect that we will be in the reviewing phase. So the different reviewers will be handling the review of the submitted proposals in a blinded approach, as mentioned. And in September, we will be announcing the proposals that have been selected to receive these grants. So the researchers who have been selected to receive the grants will be contacted and will be informed that they have been selected. And so these researchers will enter into a process of sub-granting with the American University of Beirut. And this process will include the agreement, the details of the deliverables, the installments, and all of these specificities. Okay, and by that, we reach the end of our information session when it comes to the informative part of this presentation. And we move to the Q&A. I already see several questions in the Q&A box, but also for those who wish to talk or have an intervention and ask their questions live, you can just raise your hand and we will give you the floor. Please take advantage of this session. This is your chance to actually ask all of the questions that you have for this call for proposals. So feel free to ask any question. There's no question that is silly or that is not suitable to be asked. Any question that comes to your mind and that you are hesitant about, please do ask. We have a question for on the Q&A box that says applicants are expected to be individual researchers, can for-profits and non-for-profits be prime applicants? Applicants are expected to be individual research, so there will be a primary applicant, right? But this primary applicant should be submitting on behalf of a team. So you cannot submit to this call for proposals as one applicant only. And for-profits and non-for-profits can be primary applicants if they are based in the MENA region. Okay. The presentation will be actually, the whole recording will be available on the website. Is there a specific preferred location in the Middle East for the innovative solution, or can the solution target multiple locations? There is no specific locations or preferred locations. It can target any region, any country or any location in the MENA region. Should the evaluation plan implemented to be in the period of 18 months? Some intervention need more than 18 months. Unfortunately, as part of this project, you are requested to complete all of the requirements of the project in 18 months, including the evaluation. So I think, Nadim, we have one attendee who has their hands raised. I'm not, yes. Yes, hi.
Thank you,
Hello.
Noor and Nadine, for this informative session. In fact, I have two questions. The
Yes.
first question, in case I applied and I get accepted, how we will be utilizing the fund? Are you going to transfer it to our organization, or we will be dealing with you directly? Because this will affect the budget. Your answer will affect how we are going to do the budget. This is my first question. You want to answer, then I go to the second question.
Yes, okay, I will answer this question. So the funds are usually transferred to organizations and not individuals. So you have to take this into consideration when preparing the budget.
Good. And regarding the outcome of the project, are you expecting that we will do something that will benefit your organization, or you are expecting us to do a solution that will be published as a research paper or commercialized as a product? Are we going to work something that will be given back to you, or you are funding to find a solution and then it is up to us to publish, to patent, to commercialize, to do whatever we want?
No. The proposed project does not have to be related in any way to the Global Health Institute, IDRC, EMPNet, or JUST, or any of the partners involved in this initiative. It has to do with the submitting organization. So the outcomes, you are free to actually go ahead and publish them, disseminate them in scholarly articles, reports, whatever you see suitable. But this will have to be included in your results dissemination plan when you submit your proposal.
Okay, and just a clarification, last clarification. You said 18 months that are strict, including the review process. The 18 months start from the time you start reviews?
No, the 18 months starts from the time you receive the sub-grant.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Noor, we have a question in the chat box. Does the committee has preference for innovation or for research track?
No, there's no preference for innovation or research track. Both tracks are scored equally. So there's no preference for any of the tracks. How many grants you will give? So we have mentioned before that a total of 6 grants will be awarded or sub-granted as part of this initiative. 6, okay. Can the winning grantee apply to a second round beyond the first 15,000? So for this specific call for proposals, we have 6 grants up to 15,000 each. We may have in the future other cycles that may include other sub-granting schemes with other amounts that may or may not be related to sexual and reproductive maternal health. This is a possibility. Do we have access to any support during the application process, or can we reach out with questions? Definitely. So there's Nadine support, help me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a support tab on the website that they can reach out to us. Okay, so you can reach out to us through the support tab, or you can drop us an email with whatever questions you have. Nadine can write the email in the chat box now. But I'm sure if you go into the website, specifically the webpage for the application, you will find the support tab that I am talking about. Please feel free to reach out to us at any point in time while preparing your application for any technical questions. We cannot give any input related to the content of the proposals, but we can definitely help you when it comes to technical questions related to the application.